Please save me, Donald Trump, please.
So surfing has been always ingrained in Counter-Strike, and as you see right here, this new material is now angled, so you can surf off the balcony and land onto the ground silently. In order to do that, all you need to do is when you're dropping, crouch, and then press your left key, so your A key, so you stay on the surface, and then as soon as you get to about this position of the light, you're going to uncrouch so you make no sound when you drop towards the ground. It's really easy to do, and it doesn't really require a lineup. As you see here, you can do it every single time. It's a good way of going towards brackets from behind if you have some sort of timing, or just stylize your way of dropping out of the apps. An interesting thing about Counter-Strike is the fact that there was always a skybox on maps that you could kind of interact with. So you could throw like a Molotov off the skybox and it would go onto site. An example of that would be the old version of Inferno, where it was basically all of those skybox type throws to throw for first and second oranges and new box. But in CS2, as you know, there's no skybox anymore, so Valve had to add this little piece of wood here to kind of bounce Molotovs vertically downward. A thing that you can do is use that by getting into this corner, looking at right here, and then just doing a regular new box Molotov. And in that same corner, you can use the wall here and go to the bottom right of this window, and then you can throw a first and second oranges Molotov. One of those things that people did in CSGO was bounce a Molotov against the skybox to hit this back corner of sight. And this is just to make it so you don't have to openly clear all of these deep annoying angles. Of course in CS2 without the skybox you can't do any of those bouncing Molotovs, and that's exactly why they added this little balcony right here. If you want to clear out that back part of sight, if you get into this corner here, look in the middle of this kind of beam right here, this rod, and then just throw. It's the same exact Molotov that you're probably looking for. Another thing is if you get on top of this right here, and you just look at this light bulb a little bit above it and then throw, it's a good Molotov that you can throw to make it so nobody can plant on default. If you pay close attention in Arch, you can kind of see that the actual ground slowly slopes upward. That means that if you're going to throw any of the regular Arch smokes like this, if a player wants to, two players can come over here and actually just boost and see over top of your smoke. That's exactly why this balcony exists right here. And if you can find a little lineup from over here by getting into this corner and then looking at this kind of left side of this dot, this white dot, and then just jump throw, you're going to see that this smoke actually goes on top of that balcony, and if anyone wants to boost there, they're not going to be able to see over top of this smoke. A weird thing that you can do with the new smokes is actually smoke library by throwing it anywhere inside of this top position here. So that means that if you're running, you can throw something like this. No matter where you throw it in that position, it's always going to fully smoke it. And that goes for the same thing. If you're towards this position of like a site and you want to smoke off library, you can just throw a random smoke like that and it's always going to go and cover the library position. In this example, when you're over in this position and you want to molly the pit position, you're not going to molly it against like this, although you can. A good thing you can do is go behind this corner so you're not getting shot from a site, and you can look for this arch right here that signifies where Big Pit is, and you can just throw a Molotov against the corner of that arch. As you see here, without even going and peeking a site, you're going to be able to Molotov the Big Pit. If you ever want to clear a player out of this specific corner right here, you can actually throw flashbangs inside of this box, and specifically the barrel right here. If you throw a flashbang inside of the barrel and you peek the player, they're going to be forced to turn away, while they're going to be fully blind if they don't. A lot of players don't like the fact that in CT spawn you can throw smokes right off the bat because there's no skybox. But if you go to T spawn, there's a roof and you can't actually throw the same instant smokes that you could on the CT side. If you go a little bit further forward, you can actually use this gap instead, and by getting into a position like this, and then looking at this part of the shingle and then just doing a run throw, you can actually throw a smoke that's going to put out the molly that CTs throw right off the bat, and it makes it so you can rush B pretty easily. Another good thing about the smoke is that the right side actually allows you to see car before going around the corner, so it's less of a hassle to go through this smoke.